And he turned left on the red light. A tractor trailer swerved to miss him and hit our car full force. I was given about a 10% chance of surviving after this accident, but worse still, both my parents were killed on that day. My parents were just the greatest people, and their loss is just a huge loss to the world, so that this kid could have a conversation on his cell phone.
So how has your life changed since the accident?
I mean, it's been huge. Everything from learning how to walk again to trying to live a life with only one functioning arm and trying to find people to kind of fill the shoes that my parents filled.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that your mother had written you that card saying, "We can die happy now," yeah.
It's comforting, but it also hurts so bad. She didn't mean it.
Yeah, she didn't mean I want to die today. And it's your life's mission now, I hear, to speak out against this, against distracted driving.
It's definitely not where I expected to be, but I think this happened to me so that I can tell this story and hopefully make other people realize the kind of power that they hold.
Mm-hmm. And you know what, it's so interesting. Often when I've been speaking about this, we always talk about the 6,000 people who last year, actually 5,870 that we know of, who were killed because somebody was on a cell phone. But nobody ever thinks about the people like yourself who had to relearn everything, how to walk again, how to speak again, who are permanently injured because somebody had a text that couldn't wait. How do you feel about that? Do you feel angry? Do you feel sad? Are you still bitter about it?
I mean, there's just nothing that can possibly be that important that you have to take everyone on the road around you. You have to take their lives at risk.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So how are you doing?
I'm good. It's been a slow and steady process, but I've been surrounded by amazing people, from total strangers that saw me in the newspaper and visited me in the hospital every week, to my boyfriend and his family who have made me one of their own, to my family who have just been amazing support system.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And if you want to honor JC and what she has been through, put down your phone when you drive. Simple as that. Let's go back to Washington, D.C., where Gayle King is joined. But you know, we can make the laws, but laws start with the people. Laws start with you changing your mind and your heart about this issue. So even if you're in a state that doesn't ban texting, today you can make a change. Like a lot of teenagers, Bronte used to text, used to drive all the time, but not anymore.
3 days after my 17th birthday, I was on the way to my boyfriend's house for burgers. I was texting and driving, and I lost control of my car and went sideways into a tree. When the paramedics got to me in my car, I was trapped and I wasn't breathing. They cut my roof off and they lifted me out of the top. The crash caused me to break my pelvis. I suffered a traumatic brain injury from the impact of the tree stopping my car. I was in a coma for 3.5 weeks. My dad would spend the night with me in the hospital. My boyfriend was there every day. I have short-term memory loss. I get confused easy, and I get tongue-tied faster. This scar is my trach scar. It does remind me to not take your eyes off the road. It makes me so mad when I'm driving down the road and I see somebody texting and driving. The conversation can wait. So don't risk your life for it. I don't want this to happen to anyone else.
Welcome. Now, when you were in the hospital, I understand all your friends that came to see you pledged to never text and drive again?
Yes, they did, and I've signed the pledge, and I don't do it.
You don't do it?
No.
What do you now do when you are in your car?
I put my phone on vibrate or silent, and I put it in the center console, and don't worry about it until I get to where I'm going.
Had you ever thought about it? That's so great. Had you thought about this before this accident happened?
No, I hadn't.
It never occurred to you that this was not something that you could do?
Right.
Yeah.
I had almost rear-ended somebody, texting, but I was like, oh, that's it's not a big deal.
You didn't think about it as a big deal? You didn't think about it as a big deal until you got hit?
Right.
Yeah. So what do you want to say to everybody else out there who also, before today, maybe never thought of it as a big deal?
The conversation can wait. It's not worth it. If the person you're talking to wants to talk to you bad enough, they're going to want to keep talking to you. So don't put yourself in that position.
One of the things I asked Bronte, were you wearing a seatbelt?
I was.
You know, there was a time in this country where nobody wore seatbelts. And now it's the law that you have to wear a seatbelt. That is what needs to happen with this issue. Yes. Right. And can you imagine had you not had your seatbelt on?
Oh, and it would have been 20 times worse.
Yeah. Or you may not be here to tell the story. If you want to stand up for Bronte and end distracted driving in this country, take the pledge. Next, some of the stars of American Idol are standing by in Los Angeles, the city of drama.
Alex was, she was an easy kid to raise. She was fun-loving. She had a great sense of humor. She had a huge heart.
I was very, very proud of her. She excelled in all that she did.
Just a couple of weeks before her wreck, she had over 10,000 text messages. I teach at the school that my kids attend, and the aide comes in and told me Alex hadn't made it to school yet. So I started trying to call her phone. I said, I'm gonna go try to find her. I figured she had a flat or, just some kind of car trouble. When I finally got to the wreck, I didn't even recognize her pickup. So I walked around the truck and I found her in the grass. She was texting and driving. She rolled the truck and went out the passenger side window, and the cab of the pickup landed on her as it rolled over. So I called 911. I just started praying, telling Alex that we were gonna get through this.
We just stood in the middle of the little pavement and just hugged and prayed.
And a friend drove us to the hospital.
All we could do was just stand around her and watch the little monitor just get slower and slower, and the numbers go down and down until she was gone.
We don't want to see parents having to bury their children. We don't want to see siblings having to live without their older brothers and sisters like Katrina's having to do. It's just madness.
It really is, people. It really is just madness. When you think about it, when you think about what's happening, this is madness. This is crazy that we continue to do this. It's us being so disconnected from ourselves and feeling that in the moment, whatever's going on with us is so important that you're really willing to take somebody else's life. It's like Russian roulette every time you pick up your phone in the car. So Alex's parents, Jeannie and Johnny, are here, and we're happy that you're here. I met Shelley and Darren Forney back in January, and today I'm asking you to stand up for them and all the families who have been devastated by these senseless accidents that don't have to happen. The Forneys' 9-year-old daughter, Erica, was killed by a woman on her cell phone. And in memory of Erica and Alex and Rodney and JC's parents and the thousands, 5,870 others who were just killed last year, here is our National No Phone Zone Day commercial that you'll see all over the airwaves and internet. Take a look. This is the spot where a family was shattered. Shelley and Darren's 9-year-old daughter, Erica, was right here on her bicycle, just 15 pedals from home. The driver was distracted by her cell phone and didn't see her. How many more have to die before we take a stand? Let their lives be our light. Go to OPRAH.com and take the pledge.
What began as a day of summertime fun for a group of 8th grade band students in Missouri became a harrowing day on an interstate highway. NBC's Rahema Ellis reports on today's deadly school bus crash, but also on some facts about school bus safety that may surprise you.
2 school buses filled with kids were headed to Six Flags Amusement Park near St. Louis. A semi-trailer cab stopped for construction on Interstate 44. The beginning of a deadly chain reaction.
The front of the bus struck the rear of the GMC pickup. So almost simultaneously, the second bus driver, the second bus struck the first bus, and that's where we're at now.
2 were killed, a female student and the driver of the pickup truck. crushed between the cab and the bus.
It's been a horrible, horrible day in our community, and it will be felt forever.
Despite the horrific scene, authorities say the other 53 children on board the buses survived with injuries described as not serious. Every school day, about 24 million children ride school buses. Studies show on average there are about 7 fatalities a year. And experts say most of those accidents occur when students are getting on or getting off the bus, not while in transit.
School buses are significantly safer than riding in any of the passenger vehicles or other types of vehicles that we see on our nation's highways today. That's because they're built to high standards, and they have a compartmentalizations in their seating area, which keep the young people very safe.
It's not clear if these school buses were equipped with seat belts or if any of the students were wearing them. NTSB is sending a team to the accident site to investigate. Rahima Ellis, NBC News, New York.
On Wall Street.
Tonight, as promised, we have a great moment to show you from something that happened yesterday, courtesy of the New York Yankees. And some say it's proof that if you love a team enough in life, something good might just happen.
We have some flowers for you.